Catch That Weasel can definitely encourage you to look at wildlife in different ways. This is actually a really pleasantly surprising episode of Mickey Mouse Hot Diggity-Dog Tales. And the reason I say it's pleasantly surprising is because the two episodes that have come previously were cute, were interesting, could be potentially educational, but this is the first one where I feel like there's actually a genuine benefit and a really strong message to it. And the message here is that animals are not always a threat. Of course, that could have a bit of a backfire because it may encourage children to approach all wild animals thinking they just want to be friends. But in this very short episode, it's about 2 minutes in length, Mickey and Pluto are camping. The animation quality is lovely. Of course, we have the CGI design of Mickey and Pluto, and the tent they set up is beautiful. I would love a camping tent like that. Well, actually, I wouldn't because I don't want to go camping, but the tent looks incredible. And they go in a canoe and they go on the river. I love the animation of the moving water. I think it's really fluid and realistic. Everything flows really nicely, literally and figuratively. But this weasel keeps popping up, and Mickey's really uncomfortable with this. It pops up when there are hot dogs. Of course, there are hot dogs. It pops up when they're trying to erect the tent. And then he realizes that actually the weasel just wants to be their friend, and something potentially catastrophic almost happens involving the canoe. I won't say what, just in case you wish to watch it. But then they realize that the weasel is actually there to help them and to be their friend, and it can encourage the viewer to not be scared of certain animals. I don't actually know if weasels have quite a strong temperament. I imagine it's probably not the safest thing to approach a wild weasel. I wouldn't even know where you'd find a weasel. Certainly not in this country, I think. Clearly, my knowledge of weasels is next to nothing. Should I go and approach one? Well, this episode definitely tells me I should. Maybe that's not the strongest message it could give, but certainly I thought it was a very sweet message, about not just judging somebody because they're different and unexpected, as the weasel was. I am also aware that I could be overanalyzing this, and it could just be a fun, little silly cartoon about Mickey and Pluto going camping and a weasel that they meet while they're there. And if that is the case, fantastic. It is sweet. The weasel animation is quite weird. It does look like a weasel, but I think if you'd asked me what it was before I knew it was a weasel, it probably would have taken me a couple of seconds to work out it was a weasel. But either way, I really like it. There's a lot of attention to detail. The fire around the fire pit looks brilliant. The way they've managed to make Pluto's bone around his collar quite shiny and reflective. Fantastic attention to detail. I think it works really well. It's very sweet, with a potentially nice little message. Catch That Weasel is a lot of fun.